wonderful people. Thanks again for making time with me on Let's Chat. My name is Siita Ando, and you're watching Let's Chat. So last week, if you joined our conversation, or even if you missed our conversation, we had online in Navanfin Studios with us Mr. Dixon Wolanyo Saji, um, manager of AdVest Software, sales manager of AdVest Software, and he shared some very wonderful contributions with us on his journey from being a medical assistant to the sales manager, to a salesperson, and then finally a sales manager at AdVest Software. The session was a very successful one, and today we have with us Mr. Siita Sofo Hissan. I hope that I got his name right. So, Mr. Hissan holds a master's degree in marketing management and a graduate diploma in management from Paris Graduate School of Management, France, and HND in marketing from Sunyani Polytechnic, among others. He is credited with being the first person to set up a successful television station in northern Ghana called the NTV, and has been awarded youngest CEO in the media in Ghana consecutively in 2017 and 2018. He has also won several awards both locally and continentally for mentoring and supporting youth development both in Ghana and across the continent by supporting the cause through the African Continental Area Young Entrepreneurs Federation, AfYEF in short. So today we have Mr. Siita Sofo Hissan, and he's going to share with us his journey so far, being the president of the AfYEF, and some other experiences he has so far in the corporate space. Stay tuned. You are watching Let's Chat. Now, before you watch this interview, I'd like you to kindly subscribe to our channel, like the video, share it, and please do comment. If you have any questions whatsoever, please do also share them with us, and we will attend to them in the appropriate time. This show is brought to you by courtesy Navantrix Limited, a digital marketing and software development company. If you need any services, our numbers are beneath the screen. You can call us and serve you. Also, if you want to place your ads on the show, the chat show, please go to contact the numbers once again, and we can discuss with you everything that you will need. Thank you very much. Hello, Mr. Hissan.
Hello, good afternoon, wherever you are.
Hello, good afternoon.
It's good to be there. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are very audible.
Good.
Thanks for making time to join us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Okay. You look very good this afternoon.
Pardon me?
I said you're looking great this afternoon. Hope you are doing
Thank you very much.
okay. Well, once again, thanks for being with us for this discussion. We are happy to have you on board. So now let's
Oh,
get right in. Can you tell us a little more about yourself? Who is Mr. Siita Sofo Hissan?
um, I'm a prince from Upper West region, so I'm Prince Siita Sofo Hissan.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
also a chief from Yendi, the Dagbon Kingdom, Chief Maltina. I've been given that title. In fact, I was the first person that was given that title before they gave it to the President of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, Dako Akufo-Addo.
Okay.
So I'm the first Chief Maltina. I'm a businessman and a banker by profession, and I'm also an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So basically, that is me.
Okay, that's great. I didn't know you were a prince. I did see it, but I didn't know it was an actual title you hold. So it's great to hear that you are a prince.
Yes, thanks so much, Ifra.
Okay. So how are you able to combine being a prince with like the duties that come with being a prince with all the other careers or jobs you do?
Okay, actually, if you see the traditional setting that we have in Africa, once you are from the royal family, automatically that means you are a leader. You are
Okay.
supposed to work and serve people, and as such, you look out for the betterment of your people, look out for the development of your people. So you look beyond just yourself to how do you serve the community. If you grow up and one day I become the paramount chief or overlord for the what traditional area, how am I going to help develop my area and develop my people and give them a lot of opportunities? So growing up from the royal family, you always know that you have a Herculean task ahead. You have a burden that you have to shoulder, not only for yourself and your immediate family, but for the whole community. So certainly that's the kind of spirit people like us grew up with, and that shows that we need. They said, "To whom much is given, much is expected." So
Yeah, definitely.
yes, the crown comes with a lot of challenges. So as such, we needed to embark on certain ventures that will bring about better opportunities, development for our people. So as I was going to school, building my own career, I also thought it wise to start some businesses alongside. So when I started working in the bank, I also knew that I needed to do more than just being in the bank in order to help my people. So that is the reason why we are able to combine multiple tasks at the same time.
Okay. Okay. So can you share with us briefly some of your experiences in life, education, career before becoming president of the AfYEF?
Um, yes, basically, I started my education from in the Upper West region of Ghana, where I
Okay.
hail from. At primary six, I started taking up roles. I was compound six prefect, primary six, back in my basic school, and then from there, I went to the JHS. I was a timekeeper, or what they call bell boy. So
Yeah.
automatically, I was part of the prefectorial board, and then I held other positions anyway. Then I moved to Kumasi Amasphobia in Kumasi,
Okay.
and then where I also held positions including the financial secretary for AMSAC and the compound, one of the compound prefects or compound overseer. So
Okay.
we were in charge of the campus cleanliness and other stuff. So we actually oversee the campus. So from there, I moved to Sunyani Polytechnic, where I also held various positions. I also founded a drama club there called Royal Anti-AIDS Drama Club. Later on, I was able to get Action Aid Ghana to partner us, and they told me that they're going to sponsor us if we make the Anti-AIDS Drama Club. We should do it Anti-AIDS instead of Royal Drama Club. We should make it Royal
Okay.
Anti-AIDS Club. And because I
Okay.
was coming from the royal family, I was using the royal brand. So I was royal baby. So as such, Royal Drama Club and Royal Anti-AIDS Club. So we made it Royal Anti-AIDS Club, and Action Aid supported us. We did the lunch. I was also the vice president of the Upper West Students Union Association. I was also the
Okay.
president for the AMSAC as well. So we have been serving students and our people for some time now. Even at the senior high school in Kumasi, I was also one of the executives for Northern Student Association called INSU. And I was also the
Okay.
chairperson for the Upper West Student Association. So we've been serving on various positions for quite a while.
Yeah.
So after the polytechnic, I started my career in United Bank for Africa for 1 year,
Okay.
which is owned by Tonelu Pili, one of the richest people in Africa.
Yeah.
Last year I was with him. Then I joined EcoBank and I worked there for about 9 years. From EcoBank, whilst in EcoBank, I did a course in Paris. That is a postgraduate diploma, after which I did my master's from Paris Graduate School of Management in marketing management.
Okay.
So we went to Tamale to open our first branch from Kumasi Upper Road branch. We went to open the first branch for EcoBank in northern Ghana. So that was where I set up and launched my media career.
Okay, I see. So it means that your journey, career began from the United States of Africa.
Please, can you come again? I didn't get that.
So I'm saying that your career launched when you worked in the United Bank of Africa. I mean your career in the corporate space.
Exactly. So my career in the
Yeah.
corporate space started with United Bank for Africa around
Okay.
2006, 2007, where I worked
Okay.
there for 1 year. So as a teller.
Mm,
Then I went to EcoBank for interview, and EcoBank also picked me. And I
okay.
then spent most of my corporate
Okay.
life in EcoBank.
So I was
So can
asking,
you,
what was your role did you play in the UBA?
okay, with UBA, as I said, that was the first time I started a banking career. So UBA actually talked to me a lot. I was learning more. I was a teller, and then by tellering, they used to call them
Okay.
cashiers. I was receiving money and then paying out money. First, I was only receiving, but afterwards, I learned to both receive and also pay out. So that is basically what I learned. They taught me the basis of banking. That's what I learned from United Bank for Africa.
Yeah.
I started my corporate life there. So firm foundation, and then you will be lucky to learn under Tonelu Melu or learn under, I would say, Nigerian leadership, because they are always very disciplined people, and then they are very serious when it comes to their businesses, and they give you the relevant training that you need. So I actually had my firm footing in banking when I started with United Bank for Africa.
Okay, I see. That's great. So can you tell us why you are passionate about youth development and entrepreneurship, particularly in Ghana? Do you have maybe some personal experiences that triggered your passion to want to look in that direction?
If I get you clearly, you are asking me why I'm involved in youth development in Ghana.
Yes, yes,
Okay, good.
yes.
For a very long time, the youth of Africa has been disappointed by our leaders. I have to be very honest with you. We know the challenges we have in Africa in terms of leadership, because there's a saying that everything rises and falls on leaders or leadership. And
Okay,
when the fish is rotten, it starts from the head. So if
yeah,
Africa, we have so many challenges here and there, we cannot blame it on anyone if not our leaders. So now,
okay,
but blaming people has not gotten us anywhere. So growing up
yeah,
and
absolutely.
also learning, being a student of success, trying to find out why some people are successful and why some people are poor, I actually learned a lot. Then after a while, I wrote a book somewhere 2016, um, and 2015 and 2016. The first one was Set Your Goals, and the second one was Those Who Want to Be Rich, which I did with Prince Kofi Amoabe,
Oh, okay.
who forwarded for me the chairman for UT Holdings. And then David Donto and other professors also wrote some acknowledgements for me in the book. So I decided to, instead of blaming other people, what can we also do ourselves? So instead of pushing the blame all to our leaders, I also asked this question, that how can we also help ourselves? Then I saw that the best way is to ensure that I also support in career development of various youth in
Okay.
Ghana, and then help share the success story of other successful people, because I was still a student of success.
Okay.
So there was a time that when I was writing my book, I reached out to one lecturer in Legon, and I told him that I wanted him to forward my book for me or help me write the book. He told me that if I'm not successful, I cannot write the book. So I told him that I am a student of success and I am on my way to success. So, but those discouraging statements cannot stop me from working on my own book and stuff. Because there are certain things that you learn along the line, you have to share with others.
Yeah.
Because we have so many people who have been successful in Africa and we don't want to even share our success stories. Some people die with it and we have to start all over again. These are some of the challenges that Africa is having. So I felt like the private sector too is the engine of growth. We talk about any developed country. So I asked, how can we also support as actors in the private sector in order to support our various governments instead of just putting all the blame on the governments? So I started the Investor Consult. That was my first consultancy firm I founded, and we were doing career development programs, how to start and manage your own businesses and stuff. And we started from northern Ghana, so northern region to be specific, Tamale. We started with University for Development Studies. We went to the polytechnics, Tamale Polytechnic, then we moved to Upper West region, and then we even had to compete with Springboard. There was this Springboard show that was supported by MTN Ghana. They used to go across the whole of the country to do motivational speaking and inspirational talks here and there. So we had at a point compete with them, and later on they also bring me on board on the Springboard show to also motivate others. So we believe that we needed to give guidance to the youth, and the youth are in the minority when it comes to Ghana, and there are those that are unemployed. There are those that need the support, they need guidance, they need the resources. So we also went into that to see how we can support them. So we started organizing seminars, giving out certificates, writing books and sharing our experiences with others, also bringing relevant people who have been successful to also share their stories. So we started in that angle. And then Albert Okran, Albert Okran, who started this, I let know it's a reverend, who started this Springboard show with support from Reverend Mensa Otabel and co. They all started this, but then, as I said, when it comes to Northern Ghana, we were competing with them because there were days he held programs, also held programs. People attend our programs more than their program, you know. So at a point, they recommended that we work together. So he had to bring me on some of his programs, which I also supported in mentoring the people and supported them. So that is the space that we have been in for some time. Then, before I started my TV station, which I also believe that is also, we need a voice. The media is a very powerful tool, and to ensure that our voices are heard, our challenges are heard, we need a very powerful voice to support the development of youth and job creation. That is what motivated me to enter into that space. And I didn't know it would grow beyond Ghana to the rest of Africa.
All right. So before we go into how your TV station started, can you tell us how the AfYEF, how was that founded?
The AfCFTA Young Entrepreneurs Federation, which is called AfYEF, was founded somewhere around 2020. December. So the whole idea of AfYEF is an agenda to include the youth not only in Ghana but across Africa. So whilst I was doing the motivational speaking and career development trainings for students across northern Ghana and the youth, I had this opportunity of being invited to Rwanda, to Gambia, other African countries, to deliver similar speeches to motivate the youth of not only Ghana but youth of other African countries. So in 2018, we were hosted by His Excellency Paul Kagame at the All African Students Union program, which is called ASU. That is the biggest student body when it comes to Africa continentally. So they invited me to deliver some of my success speeches to all the students in Africa, which I gladly honored in Kigali. And as such, from there, other African youth also invited me to their various countries. So I was now thinking not only Ghana, but I saw that the problems the Ghanaian youth were facing was the same problems that African youth were also facing. So I traveled to some of the other African countries to give similar speeches and network with other youth. So we're finding a way out. When I heard of the African Continental Free Trade Area, and the World Bank stated that it's going to create about 100 million jobs for the youth by 2035, I was excited. And I said that we've been looking for a way out to support the African youth, and we are not getting. So this is kind of an avenue to support the development and emancipation of the youth across Africa. You know what Mark Zuckerberg said, that sometimes when you start an idea, it's not fully formed. You just have to work around it, and as you work around it, you get to know the challenges, the ways out, what works, what doesn't work, and then you finally find your feet. So nobody gets the full idea when he started. So we felt that AfCFTA was our fit, and if you're able to support in ensuring that Africans are able to trade across Africa, do business across Africa, a lot of jobs are going to be created for the youth of Africa.
Yeah.
That is the reason why we founded the AfCFTA Young Entrepreneurs Federation, in order to mobilize the youth of Africa to have a very strong voice in speaking about trade, about protocols for trade, the rules and regulations that is governing continental trade, to ensure that women and youth are considered in making of the trade laws across Africa. So this is the reason why we founded the AfCFTA Young Entrepreneurs Federation, and then we working with the AfCFTA Secretariat. AfCFTA Secretariat is the African Continental Free Trade Secretariat that has been established by the African Union to ensure that they promote trade across Africa. And the main agenda of the AfCFTA is to ensure that they achieve the African Union Agenda 2063. And by the African Union Agenda 2063, the AU wants to ensure that Africa becomes economically, technologically, fully integrated by the next 40 or so years, 2063. And they believe that the only way they can achieve the Vision 2063 is by ensuring that we can trade among ourselves, and a lot of jobs and opportunities are going to be created for the African youth. So this is the reason why we felt that let's get together, let's form a very formidable youth organization that will speak for the youth and mobilize and sensitize the youth to be able to take their right place when it comes to development in Africa.
Okay, that's a very great submission there. So how are you champion this, and how are you able to mobilize the youth towards actively participating in this agenda?
Africa, I remember when I had my meeting with the then Trade Minister of Ghana, Alan Shamate, Honorable Alan Shamate. They were some of the, I don't want to say founding fathers, but they were the people that ensured that AfCFTA was crystallized, and they, working with our president, ensured that they are able to bring the AfCFTA Secretariat to Ghana. And as we are aware, Ghana is now the trade capital of Africa. Ethiopia is the political capital of Africa, but Ghana is now the trade capital of Africa because Ghana is hosting the African Continental Free Trade Secretariat. So they were some of the people that ensured that we achieved this feat. So when I met him, he told me that we should start from Ghana. But as we are aware, based on the works we are already doing, a lot of works have been done across youth in Ghana. And we believe that we need to grow beyond Ghana. And then with my networks that I have amassed over the years, working in different spaces with youth across Africa, and building networks with relevant agencies and organizations across Africa. That was the main reason why I was called upon to lead the AfCFTA Young Entrepreneurs Federation. I had several people calling me to come into the AfCFTA space, including the Producers and Suppliers Association of AfCFTA, AfCOPS, and then the youth wings and stuff. But I chose that I want to go with the youth or the young entrepreneurs for AfCFTA, and that is where I find myself. So I then use my networks that I've amassed over the years to bring the youth together. And based on the reputation and integrity that I have, other people were able to do referrals for us. We are into about 30 African countries at the moment, but the aim is to reach all the 54 AU nations. So this is where we are. We're working with the AfCFTA Secretariat. We're working with the African Union. We're working with African governments. We're working with sister organizations to ensure that we achieve our objective. Yes. So if we see the AfCFTA Secretariat is opening up so many opportunities for the youth of Africa, not only the youth of Ghana. It's opening up opportunities for investment and investors to come into the continent and to invest. It's opening up opportunities for women, not only the youth, to come into the country and to support in investment and development agenda. So that is what we are inspired by, and that's the reason why we are actually pushing ourselves in this space. And then we believe that the youth of Africa has similar problems, high rate of unemployment that is affecting most of the youth in Africa. And we believe that with emancipating of the African youth through training opportunities, networking opportunities, through funding opportunities, access to markets. These are what the youth of Africa actually needs, because as I said earlier on, the private sector is the engine of growth. But then we don't know how to utilize the private sector when it comes to Africa. The youth need to be supported to take advantage of the private sector when it comes to Africa. But then we believe that the youth cannot do it alone. Once we are united, we will be formidable and our voice will be heard. I have a saying that we don't shout at the elephant with an empty mouth. We have to use a gun. So the African government, the African leaders, the AU, the AfCFTA secretary, they are like elephants. If you single-handedly, before you go out to talk to the president, he might not mind you. But if we are all united under one umbrella, 1 million youths across Africa, and we go to the AfCFTA secretariat and we demand something, we will get it. We go to the Africa and demand something, we will get it. We go to an investor and demand something, we will. But if we are all doing it alone, honestly, it's something that we can never achieve. So that is why we believe that a united front of empowered African youth and women who are speaking with one voice, asking for opportunities for our members, is not something that is far from being achieved. And that is why AfCFTA Young Entrepreneurs is here. Thank you.
So far, has the Federation been very successful in terms of lobbying for business funding avenues for young entrepreneurs, especially considering how challenging it can be for young people in the country who are entrepreneurs to receive funding for their startups or their businesses?
I would say that we have done our best. It's not enough though, because of the fact that I remember last year we had about 1 million Ghana cedis from Afro-Arab for some members in the Association for Small Scale Industries.
Okay.
It's very difficult getting funding, as we are aware. We've had discussions with EcoBank, GT Bank and Co, because we are looking for cheaper funding for young entrepreneurs. Funding is always available anyway. The only challenge we have with funding is high cost of the funds. in terms of interest rate that is given, in terms of the fact that they don't want to give us patient capital. The youth actually need patient capital, meaning that the investors should bring their money, and when they bring their money, they should at least give us enough time to pay back. But most young entrepreneurs are not able to get patient capital. They get funding with very short payment period, and you are supposed to just work within 3 months, 6 months. You are supposed to get the money and pay back, which is affecting most young entrepreneurs. As such, we have been looking for much cheaper ways. African Development Bank is having this project called Young Entrepreneurs and Investment YEP project, in which we've been partners working on it. Their main aim is to ensure that they provide cheaper funding for youth businesses across Africa, which is yet to be implemented. The other thing that we are also working with is that we're looking at investors, private investors, venture capitalists, and co. So as at now, we have some investors from Germany and other countries who have reached out to us to present some of our members for them to fund. So we've sent them our pitch decks, and some of our members have been signed to various venture capitalists. We are also reaching out to other African governments, including the AfCFTA Secretariat. As you are aware, the United Bank for Africa, UBA, is giving us $6 billion to support SMEs to be able to participate in the AfCFTA market. Those funding has not been disbursed yet, and we are looking forward to seeing how this is going to be done, which we also hope that we'll get our members, as many members as possible, to be able to access the $6 billion the UBA has set up to support SMEs. Okay. And what I also believe is that we have to prepare ourselves, because some of the youth, we are not investor ready. I have to be honest with you. We are not investor ready. They will ask you to bring your pitch deck. It has to take a very long time before you get it. So when you tell somebody you need funding, you are supposed to also have what it takes to get the funding. Most of the youth businesses are not even registered, so it makes it difficult for people to get funding. Some of the operations are not formalized, they are not regularized, they don't have accounts and all those stuff. So these things makes it difficult for youth businesses to be funded. But I keep saying that if you want to eat with the tortoise, you don't tell the tortoise to go and wash his hands, because the tortoise will use the hands to go to the river to go and wash the hands, use the hands to walk back to come and meet you where the food
still
is.
Crawl back.
Exactly. So the hands will still be dirty. So the challenge with the youth we are facing is that the investors, the governments, and those that have the funds, they don't make it easier for us to access the funds, and they rather make it easier for those who already have the money to get more money. But few of us, most of us, who actually needs the funding, which is the youth who want to go into entrepreneurship and empower themselves, and the women as well, they don't qualify for such funding. Few days ago, somebody called me and told me that they have some funding from China, and they wanted us, if you need a funding, you have to pay $20,000 before they give you any amount of money that you want.
Wow.
But all the resources you need will be supplied from China. I know the US government will have similar stuff. If they give you a contract, all the materials we are going to import are going to be from the US. So the question is that, what about those that cannot raise the $20,000? $20,000 is capital for more than 100 youths in Africa. So these are the challenges that we actually face. So we are negotiating with them. We are telling them that if you want to help the youth, don't tell the youth that go and bring your financials, go and bring this. Open up, understand the business the youth is doing, understand where the youth have gotten to, and know what the youth need to get to the next level. And if I understand in helping the person, push the money to the person. We are even saying that instead of giving the cash to the person, why don't you rather use it to buy the equipment and gadgets that is needed for the person to operate his or her business. So at AfCFTA Young Entrepreneurs, our long-term aim is to also ensure that we generate funding internally. Generating funding internally means that if you have 1 million youth across Africa who are paying a minimum of $10, and we have them paying $10 annually, we'll be able to generate an annual amount of 10 million US dollars. So if you have 10 million US dollars, part of the money can go to support most of our youths. And until the youth of Africa think this way and we come together to help ourselves, it will actually be very difficult to get funding for the youth. I have been talking to African Import and Export Bank, AfroExim Bank, which is one of the biggest development banks in Africa, and they are the main financier, or one of the main financiers to the African Continental Free Trade Area. They are trying to promote intra-African trade between different African countries. And this is what the bank does. The bank gives $10 million, $20 million to individuals and organizations. And I keep saying the young entrepreneur doesn't need $10 million. The young entrepreneur needs $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, even $100,000. But we don't need $10 million. We need $20 million. Even that shows that even the requirement, we will not even meet that kind of requirement. So we are also trying to talk to them to ensure that they can give us, even if you give us $10 million to divide among a number of youth across Africa, it makes sense. So these are within our short years of existence, about 2 years. We have not achieved much anyway, but we've achieved a lot looking at the progress, the interaction that we've done. And we hope that if we are given the opportunity and the way that we are going, if we get the needed support from our partners, we will certainly be able to solve the problem of funding for many youths in Ghana and across Africa. Thank you.